Hey folks, welcome to this week's Hang. This week I have my Broadgrass buddies, and as well as being their own individual solo artists and just all around great people, my friends, my bandmates Sergio Ortega and Alan Markley. Today we're just going to hang and catch up, and I hope you enjoy these conversations. Would just start in one place and end somewhere very different. And we end with Alan giving us a beautiful version of one of his new songs.
You're listening to the Broadway Podcast Network.
Alan, Sergio, welcome to the Hang on this, I guess, Broadgrass special.
Yeah, Broadgrass.
Finally.
Yeah.
I feel it might be remiss if we don't sing a song or something.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Are we?
Yeah.
What can we do, though?
I mean, we could do.
Fun ways to die.
Or you can definitely sing one of your new ones.
Oh, I'd love to.
Because we should talk about your music.
I'd love to
Sounds
talk about
great,
that.
man.
Did I tell you that I got Rebecca to record on?
Yes, you
on my
mentioned
most
that.
recent song?
Rebecca,
Yeah.
our cellist of the Broadgrass band. She's amazing.
I was chatting with her today, and she said, "Oh, you're gonna see Ramin?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna do the podcast thing." He's like, "Gotta talk about me." So I just
There we
put
go.
on my
The
agreements.
the last gig in UK.
Yeah, she would have
Okay,
done all
yeah,
the
I met her. It's like her and then who's the guitar player as well?
Wickus.
Wickus. That's it. I was
Yeah,
like trying to
Wickus.
remember his
Vicus.
name. I was like, he had a
Yeah.
cool name. Or
Vicus.
has a cool name.
Wonder how dad life is going for him.
He's
I
having a
bet
good
it's great.
time.
Look,
Do you have a
but
baby?
the pictures make
Should
it
we
look like
call
he's like, yeah, let's call him.
How you doing, buddy?
So when's the last gig we did?
That would have been.
Oh, you couldn't make that gig. Why couldn't you make that gig?
I was doing
You on
circus.
tour.
Yeah,
You were.
That's
you literally
right.
joined the circus.
literally.
That was your excuse.
The wild. Yeah.
That was the
Where's-
Apollo gig. You were there for that.
Yeah.
And I remember
I was so
thinking,
bummed to miss that.
had you been able to make it, we still would have kept Vicus, and we would just
Just all the guitars.
I heard some of it. He sounds great. He's a good player.
yeah.
Had
He
you made it, I
sings
would've-
as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great
Less
voice.
bouzouki for me, I think, if you had been there.
Wait, did you really play bouzouki?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rad, man. And then I
learned
find
how to
out,
play bouzouki for that
but
gig.
then I found out you all got tailored suits, and I go, I'm like on the bus in the middle of like Utah, no one to talk to. I'm like, they got suits.
You still wear that suit?
Yeah, well, time to time. I don't dress up that much, you know.
What about the jacket I gave you after the Japanese?
Oh, I wore that a lot. Got compliments on it every time.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember that. You still have it?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That would look good with your music when you're on stage and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, I love it. It's a little broader because you're a little broader than me.
Thank you very
but-
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a muscly jacket, you know.
Huge.
Well, I think when I got that though, I was injured, wasn't I? I was just still coming off my neck injury.
Yeah,
so I was.
man, yeah.
That's
Right.
as small as I
Because
was.
it's smaller for you.
and I remember you were taking it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you were in pain, dude. That was like
Yeah.
really worthing.
And here we are. I'm in pain again.
Yeah, perfect.
We gotta dissummits my toe.
Oh, that's right.
We have to stop doing this. Let's just hang out when you're
Remember
injured.
You got up just now, and just watching you walk. That like,
I'm in
it's like
so
it
much
doesn't
pain right now.
work. It looks like it doesn't work.
So what is it?
So it's a PRP injection.
Okay.
So with Funny Girl, I've been in pain since probably April. My feet with the dancing and the shoes.
Whoa.
Something's gone wrong.
Yeah.
But I've just been doing what I can.
Yeah.
And now I'm at the point where I'm like, it hurts to walk. If I'm not in sneakers. Oddly, like it's okay when I'm working out. It's affected something, so you do what you can. But every night on stage, I'm like biting down on the mouthpiece, as they say, and just getting through that dance number and hoping for the best.
What is it? Just
I
the
don't know,
dancing, something about that dance.
something
those
that's
dance
deteriorated my toe.
moves. Yeah.
So I did a cortisone shot 3 months ago, and that gave me a couple weeks of relief. And then lately, it's just the pain is back. So yesterday, I had a PRP injection, which they take your blood, they separate your plasma from your blood, and they shoot the plasma back in the toe.
Whoa.
And she put the doctor put 20 or 30% extra.
Oh,
Okay.
So that's why it's even more full.
So your toe's entirely full of.
But we didn't really talk about aftercare. It was very quick and done. Okay. And at that point, I'm like, all right, well, nothing. At this point, everything hurts less than that needle going in my toe. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm hobbling out, but I'm thinking it's just like the cortisone. And the
Yeah.
more I walk, it'll just walk it off. And I went to the last match screening thinking this what shit, just keep walking on it. It got worse and worse. I went home, didn't stay for the film.
were people wondering if like Cardona like body slammed you at the event?
They're like, oh, this last match really took it out of him.
Whoa.
I'm in so much pain. So I'm like, I can't do the show tonight. So right now I'm sat talking to you, everything's good.
Yeah.
But you know when your body's tired and your eyes are tired from just like constant pain.
Yeah.
So I text the doctor. I'm like, is this bad? She goes, oh no, your body's your body's taken to it. It's good. It's reacting. So you'll probably be out of the show. I should have told you that. I'm like, yeah.
You should have told me I was going to lose some wage.
Yeah.
This is painful. And then because I'm supposed to fly to Arizona, by the time this will be out, and all this will be, hopefully I'll be running
Yeah.
like a naked, innocent schoolboy through the grassy fields by this point.
In slow motion.
But I'm like, I'm supposed to fly on Thursday to go do concerts in Arizona and Fort Lauderdale. I'm like, I couldn't think, like if I had to fly tonight, no way.
No. Especially that cabin pressure change. Like, it's just,
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're throbbing like that,
Yeah.
like, if you have like some kind of ache anywhere, it like makes it 10 times worse because, you know, the expanding. You'll be fine though.
So you have new music out.
Actually, I have a new one coming out
Foot in mouth.
in like a week or so as well.
What's that called?
Oh God, what is? O-A-A-E.
O-A-A-A.
Yeah, I have posted
O-A-A-E.
0 things about it, so this is the official first announcement of the
Well,
whole.
by the time this comes out, it's going to already be
It's
number
right
1 in the
after it.
charts.
Yeah.
What's the story behind this one?
That song, so that song is about a time in me and Nicole's marriage when things were feeling kind of, tired. In a long relationship, sometimes you can like you have to continually invest in it and work on it. And,
Do ya?
Sure.
Yeah, turns out. And
Notes.
Let me put this.
yeah, well, we can take a
phone.
second for notes. And it was about a time when things had grown kind of stale in our relationship, and it was just about the feelings surrounding that. You know, Nicole's been an important part of my life for so long.
course.
And
You've been together how long?
we started dating in 2004, October of 2004.
Coming up to 20, man.
Yeah, I know. Almost.
Wow.
So we host this annual Glugfest. I think you've been to a
Glug,
Glugfest.
yeah, I've been to
Have you
Glug.
been to one or just invited?
I've been to
one?
one, and I keep missing the because
Yeah, yeah.
she's Swedish or Norwegian.
Swedish. Yeah, and we realized that this year, I think it was our 20th Glugfest, which
Wow.
means that we
Whoa.
started hosting Glugfest before we were legally allowed to drink. We were like sending our older friends to go buy the liquor to make
Rebels.
to make this like Swedish mulled wine.
Do you go through the night? Do you see the sunrise?
Oh no. I mean, back then we did.
Yeah.
But like now we're parents.
11:30.
and we just like
Yeah.
like
Gluged out.
oh yeah. 1 cup of glug and then I'm just out like a light.
Skull.
Yeah.
Can Soren say glug?
Oh yeah. He's
Yeah?
actually learning Swedish. He's getting good. The
I've
other
seen
day,
some of the Instagram stories,
Yeah.
and it's like the way, like, what was it? The joke? He was reading from like a joke book or something.
he loves that joke book. Actually, he loves Dog Man.
And just he knows the punchline is coming,
yeah.
but he says, it's
Oh my
like,
God, you're so good at
yeah.
the impression. It's like he was here. It's incredible.
Everybody's like,
Yeah, the like
kind of
sneaky eyes
looking,
up,
sneaky
like-
eyes. He's like,
Are you gonna laugh at this?
Yeah.
You're gonna laugh at this?
So
that-
like knee slapper.
Yeah.
So that was pretty honest of you to. That's great that you can talk about that with the song. Was when you write like that. So this is a new album, or are you doing song by song?
I'm doing song by song, and I wrote this. This was something I wrote a while ago, and then produced, and then like left on the shelf for a while, and and mixed and mixing it to put out with all this other stuff I've been putting out.
So the previous one that's out now, what's that called?
Well, there are 3 or 4 of them out. The one that came out just before that one was also incredibly personal. What was that one called? I always forget what I named the songs.
It was what Elephant.
Oh, Elephant in the Room that was a COVID song. Like, can we pretend there's no elephant in the room? Like, can we just like it was about being with people and being like, can we talk about anything but COVID? Can we just like have a fun night and like not think about it and just pretend that this whole world doesn't exist and that we're just living life,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the one that was most recently out was about being honest with my parents about something that I hadn't been honest or hadn't not lied about, but hadn't told them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And there's a lot of things.
So
like,
without telling us what that was,
Yeah.
did you have that conversation?
I did. Yeah.
How was that?
It went. Well, if you listen to the song,
Okay. And what's that song called?
I
I crashed a car, Dad.
never know. I never know what
It
the
was
songs
me.
are called.
In parentheses, so
I
sorry.
broke the lamp in '86.
I forget what I called that one too. Well, there's only like 4 songs that I should remember them.
You keep talking about songs. I'm going to look up your songs.
Okay. You can tell me
so
what
we
they're
can,
called. I always go through like 6 or 7 name options for these songs, and then. But yeah. Anyways, I love the sort of gay community gave us this idea of coming out, and it's like so applicable to so many things in
Okay,
life. You know, you could be an
translates
atheist,
well.
or you could be a liberal, or a conservative, or you could be a gay, or anything.
If you had your way,
If you had your way. Yeah.
that's that what you're talking
Is
about
that,
now?
is that the one where you're looking kind of sad?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that photo.
Is there a
It's
song
good
called
photo.
Whatever? Or is that a lyric from it?
Whatever. Oh no, that's a lyric from it.
And
Yeah.
that song
That's
is-
aching. That's called aching.
Aching?
Whatever keeps you from aching. That was also that was about someone else going through a hard time.
I remember when I listened. I love that track.
Yeah,
That's
I think
a
that's
great
been
one.
that's been the one that's I think been the best received. If I was going to play one on acoustic, I'd probably play that
Yeah,
one.
I had that on repeat for a while. That's a good
Yeah,
track.
I like
that is
that
a
one.
really good track.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Will you play that later?
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Whatever keeps That'd be great.
Aching.
Yeah.
That one? Yeah.
What's that?
Whatever keeps
Yeah.
you aching.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, man, that's infectious.
Oh, thank you.
It's lovely.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
What's going on with music with you?
Well, I still teaching quite a bit. I haven't
You
gigged
do
as
these workshops, right?
much. Yeah, I do these full band workshops at this place called Music Makers. I've been there like 2015, so yeah, almost 8 years now.
What's the prerequisite to get involved with that sort of workshop?
So it's usually adults who are not professionals, but like they're professionals in
In life?
yeah, in life.
They have jobs.
But yeah, they're doctors, lawyers, wonderful people, and maybe they played, they kind of played recreationally, or maybe they played a lot when they were younger, but then life happens, they have kids, now the kids are all grown, they're ready to retire. So that's kind of the demographic, and they're really into like the most popular genre is classic rock. So, they just want to rock out, and it's hysterical because a lot of times they don't know, like they practice in a room by themselves or like with headphones or something because they don't want to upset,
Yeah.
whoever. But, and then it's like, oh, sounds a lot better when I'm at home, which is hysterical. And I still hear that like
Yeah.
every time. It sounds so much better when I'm home.
Buddy, I
You
say that
get
like
in a
I sometimes
room-
sing, I'm like, it sounded better in the shower.
Yeah. I mean, it and I'm like, well, it's like, look, this is what it's like to work with other people. Like the energy changes, but also the sounds change. Like you usually in your room, you're typically playing at really low volumes.
Also,
Yeah.
typically playing with Led Zeppelin. Or
Yeah, exactly. It's
One
like
of
it
us was
sounded
really
so
good on the solo.
Yeah,
it was
when I was
really
accompanying
good.
Led Zeppelin, it sounded great.
It sounded right. It sounded right. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, getting them in a room is like, putting kittens back in the box. It's like, no, you come here. And it's like, they're all want to turn up really, like, they don't know. My job as coordinator is to basically, get them to sound as cohesive as possible while also not making them like play and shout on top of one another. Cause some of them just like, they get so excited. They have no middle yet.
Right.
So it's like they either know how to play really low where you can't hear them, or they're just screaming into the mic, or the drummers just everyone thinks they're Bonham, except without knowing the thing, and it's like okay, let's back it up a little bit. So this goes on for like 8 weeks, and you do
Oh, it's 8 weeks with
yeah
these students. That's
yeah
amazing.
2 to 3 hours per rehearsal, dependent on like the scheduling.
2-3 times a week?
No, once a week. And if there's like a holiday, sometimes we skip that week.
Right.
And then by the end of that cycle, we actually perform. We take them and perform. And I'm on stage with them, so they don't like, you're going to be there? You're going to be there? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'll be there with you. And I got you. Because I'm leading them. And yeah, we do like a half-hour set. It's like 8 songs, eight or 9 songs. And by the end of it, they have a ball. And usually like I do have some like students who didn't play at all, didn't sing at all, and now they're like up there, more confident. Like that's kind of the rewarding thing, is to see that like they've elevated themselves, and I know that I had a hand in that. And I've always got some nice emails, and
Nice.
just send me aside. It's like, want to know, I've had a few people like it really nice. Like one student was just like, I just want you to know you changed my life. I was really in a down spot. Like some of these people, they're looking for an outlet. They're looking for a way to forget about the BS,
Was
of
this
life.
year before COVID, this workshop?
Yeah, I started with it in 2015,
Oh, okay.
and I've been going on ever since. Well, COVID obviously halted that for a little while, and Music Makers was relocating, and it took them like a year longer, I think, to build the new facility, which is beautiful, by the way. They have like 9 new rooms. They have like a recording studio now, and like one like main room where you can do performances if you want, or like, for example, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, they'll be in there, they'll lock it down for like 10 days to like rehearse. Because I don't know if you know anything about Trans-Siberian Orchestra. They do, seasonal.
Yeah.
So they do. But I guess how they do it is they have a band out west, they have a band in the middle, and then they have a band in the east. That's how they do it. So it like cuts costs.
Right.
Because they have like these big productions, Fire
Yeah.
and Snowflakes, whatnot. But yeah, they have 3 separate bands and then 3 separate like trucks with all the stuff in it. But they'll lock out the room for like 10 days because it's mainly a lot of synth. It's a lot of keyboards and everything's pre-programmed and they have the set ready to go to make sure it's timed.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've heard, I know a couple of the guys in there. It's usually like the same crew year in, year out, but it's one of the few productions I know they can get away with that. I know for a while, like a band like U2, they had like a west, middle, Midwest, and then east. So different semi trucks in order to cruise,
Right, yeah.
in order to cut costs. Because if you're trying to transport from one part of the country to the other, that starts to get really, really expensive, especially
Right.
fuel. Now, mind you, that was 10, 15 years ago. So now, even more so, these touring acts are looking for a way to, all right, how do we cut costs even more? So it's like we're downsizing, maybe smaller band, more tracks, and then, so on and so forth.
See, we never had this problem with Broadgrass.
Mm-mm.
We were always the band of the people.
Yeah.
Bring the banjo,
Yeah.
a nice suit.
Whose car can we borrow?
It's like, Ramin, you got your truck?
Yeah, okay. I can take 4 of us.
I loved that run that we did where we were just sort of stationed in London and just going off and doing
Yeah.
shows all over the UK. That
Yeah.
was so cool.
Oh, I love that. That was
That felt like
I remember-
that, like show
It was-
of the people for the
Yeah.
people.
Oh, man, I would love to do that again, too.
Yeah. that was
unexpectedly
wonderful.
warm during that time as well. Like we had some really nice days. It'd be
Yeah.
like super green, like fields it felt endless,
Yeah.
and then
We
get
got
to like
north, which was great.
Edinburgh was awesome. I wish we had a little more time there, but I know we had, because that was Burns Day. We were there.
Yeah.
That was fun. The choir.
Oh, the choir.
And didn't y'all like, you
Yeah,
and
me-
Nick did like arrangements, right?
Yeah, me and
that was
Nick
so
and I
fun.
were both doing arrangements for the choir.
That
Yes.
was
So good.
So fun.
We actually had a choir rehearsal.
Yeah, yeah. I loved it. I loved. Like,
He was conducting them.
Yeah. Those
You're like, we didn't want to arrange for a choir. I'm like, you're gonna give me a choir?
And you and Nick had like, you looked like happy little kids up
Oh,
there.
yeah, we were both
like,
pretty excited.
You big blue eyes, and you go. And then Nick did his thing, and he's got the grin, so he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could tell he was happy. He does
So right,
happy.
man. So
Nick
right.
does happy a lot cooler than I do happy. I think.
He does.
I
He's so
get a
slick
dumb
about it, like-
grin, and he's like very.
yeah, man.
His eyes smile.
did.
He's just like,
Yeah. He smizes. I
Yeah.
smile.
He
And
does
then-
the eyebrow thing. You go,
Yeah.
he never like gives too much. Like he's so expressive with his face.
Again, it's like he's here. It's incredible.
Yeah, and then he just so darn good.
So
I miss
when
that
we
guy.
first met Sergio, you also were doing your own music.
Yeah, I was doing some solo stuff for a while. I haven't touched that probably.
Because
10
you had an
years.
album, right, or an EP?
Yeah, it was a full album, and it was like a culmination of like probably almost 10 years worth of writing, and then just kind of condensing it into.
How
I
come
would
you-
have done it differently back then.
Why don't you write now?
I think I got burned out, and with my own writing, I was writing some kind of complicated. It was very intricate, like guitar. It was like blues based, but then
Yes, I
I was
remember.
doing a lot of like open tunings, and it was super creative, and I loved doing it. But I think I got really burned out because of like it's very time consuming, and plus I wasn't making any money doing it. It's labor of love, so I had to find other ways to make money. But and then eventually we met, and then later on I got with the Dives. That started as a couple other names, but then I was writing again, but I was writing for the band.
Right.
So
I miss
that's
the
kind of
Dive
how it
stuff.
been.
Is that still possible of a thing, or just
I think it is, but
different paths at this point?
it's sort of like I suppose we do have to have a discussion about it, but
'Cause there was such positive music, and your videos were fun.
yeah,
It was like almost like a throwback to bands where it was like short films.
yeah.
Videos, which
Well, like Mike is, he graduated, he was a film student. So he always had this kind of idea. And then his friend, one of his friends from school was the one who was helping. His name's Nick Capra. Excellent, does excellent like videos and film, stuff like that. Great video. He's like, there was one where it was in the video for Ready Player One, we do almost like these avatar things where you get to choose your character, right? And we had, we did it on a very low budget, but we had, got to get creative. So he brought his, hoverboard.
Yeah.
And we had to figure out, like on the fly, it's like, okay, how do we, in almost a steady circle, doing it around very slowly, and that's how we're rotating. It's not any sort of like editing.
Is that those one with the two wheels?
Yeah, the two wheels. And I'd never ridden one before, so I took about 5 minutes. As like, just everyone stay out of my way. This is gonna be one of those like fail videos. And
wait, what was the song that you were singing earlier?
What's that?
What was the song you were singing earlier?
Fun Ways to Die. It was like that. I was like, please stay out of my way. I was like, engaging every muscle in my body just to kind of stay steady. But it's like, okay, I'm a pretty calm dude as it is. But we got through it. It took maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. And we would rotate, okay, get this costume on. It's like, okay, I'm a ninja. Okay, I'm a ghost or something. It's like we all had like these weird little avatar characters. And I think Mike was like dad, like dad bod, which I thought was hysterical. But yeah, we were like on this little segue, and just to stay in that little circle, like those were really fun. It's like, it was draining. We would usually do the videos in like a day. We'd have the locations set, and we'd get through it, and we'd have a very small budget. And typically the editing like took a while, because also Nick, he's got a million other projects as well. So, like they were fun to do, but again, it's, it can be draining, and especially when competition is thick, there's a lot of other bands out there. There's a lot of other people, doing the thing and trying to be visible, especially on social media, which is, that's how you stay. Like, it's every day, and it's like, it can be.
Yeah, because you were running that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was running a lot of it, and it's fun. It's draining. It's really draining. And I hate to say it like this, but it kind of sucks the fun out of it in a weird way. Feeling that you have to be visible on this thing for people that probably aren't watching. What do they want to watch? And then you start kind of getting in your own head of like, well, what do they want? It's like, you stop asking yourself, what do you want?
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
That's why I've learned like delegating and having a team around you helps with the success. Like your lane is to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like, even with these podcasts, having Broadway Podcast Network, we do our thing and then they just run with it.
Yeah.
Where before I always wanted control of it and help with the editing or edit myself. I'm like, but I got to act. That's my thing. I got to make sure I'm at the top of my game when it comes to that. I'm not an editor. I'm not.
Yeah.
So, but then that takes funds and people and
and it's, it can be fun, but I can see even the most successful of artists, and usually the most successful artists are single human beings. Like, their bands don't get as much traction as they used to. That's a little bit harder because, like, in order for an audience to stick with you, it's like, well, I want to see everybody. It's harder when it's just one or two of you. It's like, you got to see the whole, the unit.
Yeah.
So that's what makes it harder. But even people doing content every day, sometimes multiple times a day, and they get burned out, and I can certainly understand why. That's hard. That's hard to keep up with.
You have to also navigate the comments or stuff like that as well.
Yeah. Keep up on the things you've already done.
So.
Yeah.
How would you deal with social media?
Oh, I'm very bad at it. I'm bad at it.
I don't.
I remind myself, like, I'm like, oh, I should probably post something, and then I'll be like, oh, I played a ton of shows with some cool people. I didn't take a single picture. And I was like, I'm horrible at social media.
I bet the experience was richer for that because
totally. But that's the upside and the downside of being present in the moment, where you're like really enjoying the moment and you just live there. And I think people, younger artists who are successful actually enjoy the social media part of it. I think that's part of the prerequisite now. So you have to like doing that, pictures and stuff like that.
Do you think though that, just my opinion from outside looking in to these artists who become so big on social media, you get them in front of an actual audience and it is it is kind of awkward to watch, in my opinion, because there is something to be said about development.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just curious, like, what do y'all think of that? That's what I see.
So I do a lot of music direction. That's like a big part of my job, where I'm like sort of helping artists who they have their album, they have their like music out there, and they're getting their show
you're
together.
Incredibly good at it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I
man.
appreciate that a lot. And it is a totally different skill set. All these skill sets are really different.
What do you mean you direct them? They come to you and you help them?
Yeah, I'm music direct. So I'm there'll be like a pop act, and they come to me, and what they have is a record and a show date, and that's it. And they're like, I need to put on a show. What do I do? And so I'm like, okay, well, let's put together a set list. Let's like, let me make you, if it's pop music, there's probably going to be some sort of backing tracks. Let me create the backing tracks from stems or from scratch, and then let me organize the band. Let me make the arrangements for everything. Let me it's like sort of like start to finish.
It's a lot of work.
Like crafting a set of music to sort of hopefully get them more fans and get them put together a show that will move people. And that's like the liaison between artists having music and artists putting on live show.
Are you finding your artists don't grasp that a set list is not just taking 12 songs? It's like there has to be an arc to the show.
I think there is so much to grasp about putting on a show, and I think I've been doing it longer than any of these artists that I'm working, or most of these artists, not all, most of these artists that I'm working with, and so it's like, and I'm still learning new things to grasp about how to make a bunch of songs into a show. So it's like I'm lending them my extra decade of experience and also these technical skills of like being able to use Ableton and stuff like that, and then they're giving me a new batch of music and like their personalities and like their singing or whatever they're bringing to the table, and together we're making a show. Yeah.
Do you enjoy doing that too?
I love doing it, actually. It also kind of, I used to teach a lot as well, and there's a certain mentoring aspect of it that I find really gratifying. Yeah.
See, that's why I loved about our shows, and I still think if we do another Broadgrass tour, it's adding elements that we didn't have before. So like our last show, we had a lighting designer. That even though it was like a 24-hour conversation, it just changes it because it helps with the mood of the songs, helps with the experience for the audience and get their emotions.
What are those called? Like those old spotlight? Because I remember seeing the photos and it looks so cool.
Yeah.
Again, why I had such FOMO about it, because I see like this awesome lighting design. I was like, oh, I like those lights. Those are really cool.
They did really knock it out of the park with those lighting.
Well, I gave him a lookbook. I'm like, something like this, but I don't know what those are called.
I mean, I've seen bands like Haim and like a couple of other artists use when I saw those lights, I was like, oh, I remember Haim. They had those in the live show. Like,
are they just spotlights, aren't they?
I guess they almost look like old school, like during the war. Like it's like okay, we're searching. It's like searchlights.
Oh yeah,
like old school. And it's okay. Everyone, shut your lights off. There, man. Watch out.
Like the prison break.
Watch out, man. That's what they had to do. Apparently, back in the day, like they were afraid of like bombings over because like. The enemy's planes would fly over, like even here in like New York, Brooklyn. So the rule was everyone had to shut their lights off so that they couldn't see what the city was. And then they had the spots up, the spotlights up. Like that's
wild.
Crazy piece of World War history.
So everyone in their homes, I mean, electricity was only a few decades old.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But it's like everyone turned the lights out.
Yeah.
You'd hear the sirens or you hear like some kind of warning. And that was that was just the life then for a while, I think.
Wow.
And then you'd have like German U-boats like scouting all over like the bay and like in the ocean, and like some people would see them.
Have you been in South Williamsburg on a Friday? At around
Interesting segue, but no.
They have one of those alarms. There's one of those alarms goes off every Friday in Williamsburg.
No way.
And it's the Hasidic community, and I don't know where they got it, but it's.
Oh, that's right. You said South Williamsburg, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
and it's like time to go inside. There's religious ritual around it. It's just so interesting. You hear it every Friday.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, something to look out for if you're in Williamsburg. You can hear the cool old-fashioned siren.
I forgot that there's the big Hasidic community in South Williamsburg, which is so funny because you have like that northern part of Williamsburg.
Yeah, super hipster.
And it's hip, and there's a lot going on. I remember did you ever play at what was it called? Oh, it'll come to me. Like there's all those old clubs like on North 6th Street.
Yeah.
Like going toward like Wythe.
Cameo
Yeah, it's
Gallery?
like yeah.
I love
But
Cameo Gallery.
But I think he used to be called something else. But like in Williamsburg was still kind of dodgy at the time.
Yeah.
And then it was still cheap to live.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like become the most expensive place to live
So
because it was
expensive
like
now.
became
Everyone's moving into
super-
Manhattan to save money.
Yeah.
It's real.
Is that crazy?
From Brooklyn. Yeah.
Or Queens, something like that.
Yeah, I have a friend who just moved to the Upper East Side to save money.
That's insane.
That's what I did before. I was living in
You moved to
Greenpoint.
Hell's Kitchen. Yeah.
Yeah,
from
and then
Greenpoint. Yep.
Hell's Kitchen was cheaper,
Yep.
which is insane to say.
Yep.
You know, and I was like, Greenpoint is not the easiest to get to, because at least at the time, because the G train was a bit rough.
Oh, it's gotten
I don't
so
know.
much better.
Has it?
Yeah. It's
Bad
still really
time.
short though. It's
But
cute
yeah,
as
the
like 3 cars
landlord
long.
the landlord tried raising the rent like $600
Oy.
from one lease to another, and I'm like, he goes, oh, it's still below market value.
I love how this conversation started. It started with talking about taking Broadgrass to the next production level. We're talking.
What are those
Then we ended up
songs
talking about German U-boats.
This is kind of what it's like in the
Acidic
green,
Jews
in like
in
the green
South
rooms.
Williamsburg
Yeah.
to Cameo, whatever that is. That a club?
Yeah, it was. It
Was a
been
club?
for years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You never know how a conversation's going to go here on the hang.
It reminds me of like the green, like
I was just saying, this feels like the tour bus.
yeah, it feels like a tour bus or like the green room. Hang.
And then because there's a lull, and then should we practice wings? Sure.
okay, you like that? It's like, have you ever been to Utah? It's like out of nowhere. It's like this song reminds me of the time in the mountains. It's been, and then Nick will chime in. It's like, yeah, actually the Tories. And then something about something
Then you look at Joe Kwan. Can we do music at night and a step higher?
like a step
Just
higher.
less flats.
It's too many sharps here. Too many sharps or flats.
I'll never forget. We were in Japan, and we were rehearsing downstairs in that music studio, and he's literally scratching his head with his cello bow. You're right, Joe. There's a lot of
I
flats.
forgot about that. It's like,
There's a lot of
this?
flats. So what's the problem? He goes, can't you sing a semitone higher? So it's easier for me to play. It's
Yeah.
on the open strings. I'm like, just take it up, shall we?
what?
We
what,
did
we
we?
did, yeah.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah.
What was the song?
That's amazing.
Was it an Avid tune where you played it in the wrong key?
Yeah.
And we'd been practicing it, and I was
Beaches. If it's the beaches.
like, I was like, and as we're playing it, I go, I'm gonna have to play that riff, but because it's in the key it's in, I'm gonna have to stretch further than I ever have.
all I remember, this was
We
at
just
our
switched,
London
didn't we?
gigs.
Yeah.
We just like
Because the song starts with just me.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then me and Nick were like, "Bleh, nope."
But all I
found the
remember is
key.
I was starting, don't say it's over. That's the worst news I could hear. And I could, when you can, the energy behind you, people are moving. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, something's going on behind me. But it's you passing a message. He's in a semitone higher. He's in a different key. And you can see Joe like, oh, for fuck's sake. And he gets back to you. And then you hope when we all come in on that one chord together.
Yeah. But I remember I have that little riff, and I remember out of the corner of my eye, like Joe and Tanya have to stop. They stop playing basically, and it's just on me. And I just remember I see Bose stop, and then I see two heads go like this. And he did it, and I looked over at them. They go, "You did it!" I was like, and you look at me, you go, "I'm so sorry." It was so funny.
Yeah.
But I was like proud. I was like, I feel like a real musician now.
Really done it.
I
Really
did.
done it.
I
Well
done. I done did it.
How many times did I start a song after looking at the set list and I go and they're like, he's on song 5. I'm like, I even looked at the list.
It's like, oh man. It was that was fun. Those were really really fun gigs.
Yeah.
We got to put a show together. Just us
Oh
three.
yeah, yeah.
An
would love
intimate
to.
set
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
We can have a small audience. We can
Name the
film
time
it
and
to
place.
stream it later.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
But
I like a
I'm
good
not.
stream.
I don't know how you guys get. Now, whenever there's even a big production show we're going to announce or do, if I'm part of something, even Funny Girl, you guys going to stream it?
Oh,
Do you get that a
wow.
lot?
Wow.
Man.
Wait, even for Funny Girl?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't like this age of like everything getting streamed.
No, there's live experiences.
Yeah.
100%. Not everything's meant to be streamed.
Pandemic
Yeah.
kind of changed the thinking behind that though, because we were the stuck at home.
Because the things like Phantom that they did, but there was a lot of thought to that. There was 17 cameras. Like we're talking like
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
I'm
that's a
thinking
serious
at
production.
least $500,000 production
I
value.
wonder if people know Like,
It's
the
so
technical-
expensive to
It's
do.
expensive.
No, I
it's
was gonna say the
complex.
expense behind
Yeah.
something like that. It's I can't even.
And also
I know
getting it to
now.
sound good. Like, I mean,
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
And then the performance, it changes too. Because like
Yeah.
when we were doing Phantom at the Royal Albert Hall, the way we performed that, I was performing knowing that, okay, is this camera's picking me up. Now this camera's,
Yep.
because I'm like, I know there's an audience here, but come tomorrow, what lives is what's going to be on DVD. So
Yep.
you're acting for camera.
yeah.
That's why, like, when you see cell phones or people trying to do like quick things to put together, like there's a production company that I work for. I'm going back to Chicago for Lambert Jackson. They started filming stuff for the pandemic, but you know, it took like they worked
Yeah.
their butts off.
Yep.
Yeah.
And all it takes then in this day and age, people then stream it illegally or whatever, and it's like, but then what's all that work everyone did
Yeah.
that they're not gonna recoup?
Mm.
Because if they can't recoup, they're not doing it again.
It's also such a special thing to be in a moment, like, just like that is how life is. It's not
Yeah.
not recorded. You know, I guess. a lot
That
of it
being
is,
said,
but-
we should do a set that we're gonna stream.
yeah, we should stream.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
episode,
yeah,
so-
totally.
Yeah.
But like, no, it made me think because recently, you know, I know I watch a lot of sports, but LeBron just broke the all-time like points record, beat
Even I knew about that.
Kareem, yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But there was a particular, my man, what a Nick game, you know. So there was a particular still shot, and it's when it was the points that basically broke the record. And it was
Yeah.
like this just beautiful fade shot, just
Yeah.
very simple, or at least for LeBron, not for me, but someone on the other side of the arena was right on it. There was a camera like right on him, and it was a still shot, and you just see everyone just like this, right?
Yeah.
They're not watching him.
Yeah.
There was but I think 2 or 3 people in that one photo, and you have this is at least a couple thousand people just in this
Yeah.
one still shot, and they're all doing this, right? And then the only two was I remember there was this one woman that had her camera down and just she's like, I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm watching. And it was Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. And he was just staring at him, just looking like, oh man. And there's his logo right there as well. Like
Yeah.
that's his brand, you know, because LeBron has the Nike brand. But it was like, and then I remember someone posted like a still shot of Jordan shooting a game-winning shot,
Yeah.
and just everyone just,
Yeah.
you know, in that experience, like I was like, Jordan, like that's my era. Like that's what I loved, and I still love that. You know, like yeah, I like getting some camera, but like you're never gonna watch it again.
Yeah.
You know, but I like kind of being in it and just like hearing it. I'll take the earplugs out just for a little bit and then put them back in just to like kind of feel the music. Because one thing coming out of the pandemic is like I've got to go see more live shows.
Yeah.
Like I need that. Like I forgot. Like I saw Rage Against the Machine, and that was like a postponed tour from 2 years ago or something. And it was just I remember just like my body like fell. It was like more like, and everybody in there, and then you just hear, you know, of course, you know, Killing in the Name of It comes on.
Yeah,
and
what,
you just
how does that chorus go?
and they do what they told you.
Yeah.
But you're hearing.
Keep going. Remind me. What's
What's
the rest
that?
Of, what's the rest of the chorus sound like?
Do you want can we can
I
we
just want to hear it.
can we curse? I'm gonna call my mom first. Ask if it's okay. Mom,
I don't remember
Miko,
the
no,
chorus, So how does the rest of it go?
no. I feel dirty. Now I got nervous. Yeah, but it's like I posted a video of it on my Instagram, but it's like just, which is ironic. But I wanted that. But that moment I will watch again because it reminded me how much I love live shows. I started from the back of the arena, and then it was just all red, and you hear dun dun, and you do what they tell. It's like 20,000 people doing that in unison.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, everyone's in it. It's like
Yeah,
I
but that's
missed.
a moment you took. You're not.
Yeah,
filming the
yeah.
whole
No, I wasn't
show.
filming the whole show, but it's like, you know, and I saw Pearl Jam, and they played like 2.5 hours, and it was incredible.
What was that live show like?
That was incredible. They started with, I think it was Oceans, and I remember when they got to release, you know, release man, and it was just like a religious experience. It was crazy, but also to that point, like how expensive it can be. Their lighting design, I don't know who did it. It was fantastic. It was just like this crazy loop of lighting, and then things would like kind of drop and move around. It was beautiful, and they started the set sitting down on stools.
Amazing.
Yeah, almost like they were rehearsing. it was awesome. And Vedder came out looking as cool as he does. And apparently Harry Styles left a jacket behind, and it was like all sparked. So Eddie came out. I think Harry Styles left something. I'm probably gonna keep it. And it was just like this gold sparkle. It was like fabulous.
Amazing.
And like they put the spot, it's like sparkling. It was like, oh.
We need more of this.
I know. We need more of this. Okay, 2, 3. And they could go to like even flow or something.
Amazing.
It was so fun, man. I was like, I missed those experiences.
So hopefully we'll look towards you getting on stage and doing some more live stuff, whether it's with me, whether it's with the Dives, or maybe solo. Maybe you guys.
I missed your
together.
solo sets. I used to go see you play at Rockwood. Love that.
You've always said that.
Why don't we
to me.
come
I
up
always
with a night?
appreciated that,
Why don't we do a
man.
night where it's us three? You do 20 minutes of your stuff. You do 20 minutes of your stuff,
That'd
and then
be
we'll
so
do 40
fun.
minutes of our stuff.
That would be so fun.
I would happily.
You'd resurrect? Would you
I would resurrect. Man, I have to.
Or we can go
I
round
have to
and round,
retrain
you know, like
myself.
we just sit there and then you do one now, you know.
Yeah.
In the
Oh, that'd be
round.
so
Ooh,
fun.
Yeah,
I'd love that.
Riders in the round. Kind
So
of
on
thing.
that note, do you want to sing us out with how's it go? O-E-A-O.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that one.
Oh, which one did you
I'll
say?
do the-
Oh no,
I'll do
whatever
the-
it takes.
Yeah, the one that you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because my foot's broken.
No, I'll go get the guitar.
Thank you so much, darling.
My foot's
Yeah, you hearing it? All right. Lipstick on a bit lip to try to make two. And I couldn't help thinking it was such a shame. The makeup doesn't cover up what you've been through. I haven't set foot outside in days. No, I don't mind, and no, I don't think you're crazy. Baby, it's fine, whatever keeps you from aching. Whatever keeps you from aching. Whatever keeps you from aching. Lips try for a smile, but they never make it. And eyelids hang like heavy loads. And I crack a stupid joke just to try and break in. Barricades around the pain that's got you feeling low. Oh, no, I don't mind. And no, I don't think you're crazy. Baby, it's fine. Whatever keeps you from aching. 'Cause this shit's insane. So it's okay if you wanna. If you wanna lie low, it's okay if you wanna. If you wanna hide from me, I can be patient. When you wanna cry on me, gonna be here waiting. Whatever keeps you from aching. Whatever keeps you from aching.
Oh, come on.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Sergio, Alan, thanks for the hang.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you.